Hi, Cancers. All right, you guys, this will be kind of fun. The United States is a Cancer country. So sometimes it's fun to think about, to sort of detach from yourself personally and to think of a business or a country or, or even a celebrity. You can kind of back up and look at their life just from a very, very surface view. What are the big themes? So first of all, I'm not going to go into the United States right now. I'm going to talk about you personally, but just you can maybe also look at the United States and think, oh my gosh, in my own world, there's a corollary here. It's kind of a fun mind game. So Jupiter for you guys. Now, first of all, we're going to put all of Cancer in the first house. We're going to make a little pretend. Once I get more sophisticated, I will have visuals. So there'll be a chart here. I'll show it to you. So imagine a little chart. It's a little horoscope. We're putting Cancer in the first house, and then the rest of the signs in order all the way around the zodiac. So Cancer's in the first. That means then Leo would be in the second, Virgo's in the third, etc. All the way around, okay? So because of that, Sagittarius then lands in your sixth house. So the sixth house is our Virgo house, and the Virgo archetype is one of the more complex archetypes. The mutable signs all have this sort of nuance to them, actually, that can be misinterpreted. So with Virgo, we have an archetype that has to do with recognizing in this world of form, this physical realm of duality, we have to experience this realm in order to process, in order to experience human emotion. You have to have kind of good and bad. You have to have my perspective versus your perspective. And I don't know everything that's happening with you. We have to have this, okay? So with Virgo, there's a recognition that somewhere exists in some platonic version of the universe, a perfected version of you, or maybe of your life. And there's an element to Virgo that's very much tied to consensus conditioning, how we are sort of conditioned by society, things we're taught. Where Leo comes before Virgo, and Leo is this sort of pure sort of child archetype about the self and self-expression, but with that can come recognizing our inadequacies. So Cancers have been experiencing also, Pluto has been opposing Cancer. So this is our slowest body, and so it's been slowly causing this transformative effect in Cancer's lives on very deep levels that have to do with their identity and the choices they've made into their lives up until now and their relationships. They're kind of like married to Pluto. So I think Cancers have had these relationships with people that have been like fated, destined, soulmate. I mean, I'm sure we probably all do, but Cancers, it's even more sort of urgent. Like they're on a mission in this life to figure out the self through relationships. The archetypes of the male and the female, the mother and the father. Big, big themes. Regardless of your sexual orientation, it's those archetypes, the outgoing and the out-breath and the in-breath. Okay, but anyway. So in this process, Cancers have gotten a little beat up. All right, Cancers, because also Neptune has been in Pisces. So Neptune has been forming a trine to Cancer. Neptune's been teaching Cancer from the ninth house, sort of teaching Cancer about their beliefs. What do you believe about who it is that you are, your myth? Where in your life have you, because Cancers tend to be, as we know, this joke is always, they want to stay home, or, they're more introverted, they keep themselves more shy, I suppose. So they've had relationship dynamics that have popped up for them that have been painful, that have maybe, they've seen betrayals, they've seen secrets, they've had issues that have had to do with corrupt behavior, Think of our government, think of the United States and our relationship with other countries and stuff that's been kind of happening in that area. Okay, so sort of like that stuff. But at the heart of it, with Neptune forming the trine, Cancers are supposed to be experiencing a dissolving, a weakening of the ego, so letting it fall away. And the ego is, I am la la la, this thing, that's ego. That's how I see it. This is me. This is my opinion of what ego is. I like to simplify things with my first house, Mercury and Virgo. Make it simple. Ego is just like when I say, I'm Nichole, and I'm a Libra with an Aries moon, and that's my definer, that's my identifier. Cancers, For you guys, with Neptune forming a trine, maybe we found in our lives we had some experiences where we felt like we've been taken advantage of, where we have felt like we have been victimized. That's really common with Cancers. Where we felt like, I feel like I'm a victim of another person's bad behavior. Okay? And a really good chance you probably are, because a lot of times we align ourselves with people who are also experiencing similar transits as us, and a lot of Cancers align themselves with people who are cardinal signs. Therefore, like Putin is a Libra, okay? So, like, there's an example of Putin, obviously Russia or whatever, taking advantage of Facebook, let's say, things happening where we were kind of victimized, so to speak, by another party that was a cardinal sign who was experiencing Uranus and Pluto, Uranian forces, which cause us to do things that can be a little bit self-centered, that because we're trying to break away from old patterns in our space. And anyway, so you see, it's like we're all just working on our paths, and our stuff bumps into each other on that journey. And sometimes, like, we're on a wagon train, our wagons bump, and it's like, oh, it's a really bad analogy. I was gonna say, or a metaphor. It's like your wagon wheel gets knocked off, but that's not really a very good metaphor. Point being, Cancers have been taking the brunt of a lot of shit, basically, from other people's process of individuation. And individuation is you growing up. It's you recognizing that you have shit from your childhood, from when you were a little kid, that you're processing, and you're trying to decide for yourself what's me and what's just what I grew up with, and what do I really believe, and who am I really? Okay, that's what we're working on. So, like, that process is a lifelong process. It's a process that we're all on, and a lot of times it takes place in the family and in our interpersonal relationships. That's like a big place. So for Cancers, okay, Sagittarius, Jupiter and Sagittarius right now in your 6th house is kind of a time that's sort of an inconjunct to Cancer. It's a little bit of like, ouch. It wasn't Scorpio in the 5th. We may have had a year last year that was one of like some real great highs and some lows, like really pretty extreme, it feels like to me, for you guys, because it formed, we had a trine, Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, and then Cancer, this water trine. So emotionally, whoa, like seeing stuff that maybe we didn't want to see in our relationship patterns, seeing stuff in other people's lives that had affected us, and really needing to let go, to forgive people and to let go of other people's stuff. Like, that's their stuff, it's not my stuff. Letting them go, healing, big. So right now, having Jupiter in the 6th, the focus for you guys, 6th house, Virgo, it is like, do the work. Right now we're waiting, so there's a quality of kind of waiting when a planet is in the 6th. When you break a bone or you get burnt or something, you gotta and trust me, I've had lots of these experiences lately with my progressive moon in Virgo in my 12th house. Woohoo! Like, scar. I mean, since I started my YouTube channel, I have, I think, like 4 new scars on my body, literally since right as my moon moved into Virgo. Healing requires waiting. Groundhog Day. Sometimes you gotta just do the work. You gotta it takes a process of these layers in this physical world before something can be polished smooth, right? It's like a shell on the beach. If you find a really beautiful shell that you can tell has been there for a long time, it's all smooth, or stones in a mountain creek that are all round, those river rocks that are really beautiful, and it's been eons, of them, the water running over them. So think of Virgo that way. Don't think of it from a perspective of it's not good enough, or I'm feeling constantly inadequate, I'm constantly feeling like someone else is being picked for the job, or someone else is better than me. Think of this as a time to really focus on chop wood, carry water. Get into the skill, learn your skills, hone your craft, your physical body, if you haven't been taking care of yourself. While that Jupiter was in Scorpio and you were dealing with all that emotional stuff, maybe you were not worrying so much about your body, focused on other things perhaps. Now, get into your body, get into your physical form, get into your space, feng shui your house. Look at your routines with your day, your day-to-day world. You might be dealing with a little bit of anxiety right now and heaviness. You've had Pluto opposite the sun. Saturn opposite the sun. This winter, with the sun joining that mix, during the winter time, Capricorn season, that's heavy. And then you got the nodes of the moon on top of it. So that's heavy. That's depressing. That's like, we're looking at some of the realities of life that kind of stink. You might have felt tired and stuff lately, and that's okay. It's to help you recalibrate things and to adjust for whatever's coming next for you guys. So I think Cancers, we need you guys. I feel like all of the signs are being called to be a more pure, high version of what you are, like a higher functioning version. Cancer on the low side can be moody, can be vindictive, passive aggressive, and really yucky. Can be like trying to make you feel guilty about everything and just yuck, gross. And on the high side, they can be the most warm, like they want to protect you and make you feel safe and like hold you in their arms. No one can give a hug like a Cancer. Like a healthy, good Cancer, like they hug you, and it's like you can cry with a Cancer and not feel like they're going to judge you. Like they're like, oh, thank God you cried too. Or, oh, thank God you feel something too, which is beautiful. We need that from you guys, especially with, Uranus and Taurus causing a lot of big changes in people's lives. We need the grounding of emotional vulnerability, realness. It's okay to feel sensitive. It's okay to get your feelings hurt. It's okay to be someone who cares what other people think, or doesn't want to, or who's shy, who's sensitive to people's judgments. Like showing your true colors though, and your awkwardnesses, let other people do the same thing. That's a huge theme right now, I feel like. Okay, I love Cancer. One of my favorites. My mom's a Cancer. Lots of people in my life that are very special are Cancer. So, okay, we need you guys to just show us all your warts. Brené Brown's talk on vulnerability is beautiful. It's beautiful for anyone to listen to. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Anyone who's Cancer, Sun, or Moon, it's one of those talks. Even Virgo folks, I think, would do really well with that talk. She talks a lot about perfectionism and having these standards for ourselves and just worrying about other people judging us, really, for being vulnerable, for those times when we make mistakes. We want to try and look like we're perfect when we're not. Nobody is. Everybody's all messy and jagged and wanting to be loved, unless you're like a psychopath. We want to have a clan and have a space where we fit and have a feeling like we can also feel so good too. I have a quote. It's in my bedroom. It's over on my little easel. Says, there's one joy. The one joy is to love and to be loved. That's it. To love and to be loved is the most beautiful experience that we can have. And that can include a moment of awe with nature. To feel like I belong to this thing. Like nature's holding me in her arms, Mother Nature, And that's Cancer, if you can think of yourself as the wild and rough nature of the wilds of Mother Nature. You guys are emotionally raw. You're real. You're nature. That's beautiful. You guys are the human experience. And so we need to feel it's okay to be in that place with you, it's okay to have emotion, to feel moody, to feel kind of, up and down and to feel get our feelings hurt easily, take things personally or whatever. And then because it triggers a conversation. See, then it triggers Libra. That triggers, let's come together. Let's confront this. Let's talk about it. Let's process. Let's progress. Let's grow together. That's what Cancers provide for the rest of us. Okay. All right. Thanks, Cancers. Okay, bye.